Invictus Games is about to make a return for 2025, and it's something we always look forward to at the Royal Report. It's the regular reminder of the old Prince Harry we know and deep down we love. Remember this?
I can only begin to imagine how challenging the journey.
Well. Just when Harry thought his fairy tale life of privilege and entitlement would sail smoothly into the Invictus Games, it all came crashing down in spectacular fashion. And trust me, the drama here isn't just a ripple, it's a tidal wave. Insiders are buzzing, and what they're revealing is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Harry, in a move that has left even his most loyal defenders cringing, made a demand so outrageous it's almost hard to believe. He wanted, wait for it, a private jet. Not just any private jet, and certainly not one paid for out of his own personal millions. Oh no, Harry wanted Invictus, the very organization built on the blood, sweat, and sacrifices of veterans, to foot the bill. Yes, you heard that right. He wanted the charity, powered by donations and goodwill, to bankroll his luxury ride through the skies. But here's the delicious twist. This time, the answer wasn't yes. It wasn't even sugar-coated. The CEO of Invictus delivered a blunt, unapologetic no. And the fallout? Oh, it's been explosive.
Men and women to move beyond their injuries is limitless.
I think the concept of the Invictus Games is admirable and it remains relevant. We should be taking every opportunity to focus on and
use your personal money for your jet, not the veterans' money. That's the line insiders say hit Harry like a slap across the face. Imagine the humiliation. Prince Harry, once basking in the illusion that his royal blood and Invictus patronage made him untouchable, suddenly being cut down in the harshest way possible. That illusion shattered instantly. In one bold stroke, the organization reminded him, and the world, that this isn't about him, his ego, or his taste for royal comfort. This is about the veterans. And the veterans will not, under any circumstances, have their sacrifices cheapened so Harry can sip champagne while cruising at 40,000 feet. And let me tell you, whispers from behind Invictus walls say the frustration with Harry hasn't just popped up overnight. Oh no, it's been brewing for months. This was the breaking point, the straw that finally snapped the camel's back.
our veterans, and the focus should be on them for their service to us. Now, this year's Invictus Games opening ceremony in Vancouver is going to be pretty star-studded, and I hope that it strikes the...
Let's get one thing clear. Donations are sacred. They're meant to fuel adaptive sports programs, fund rehabilitation projects, and support the brave service members who gave everything for their countries. These aren't just dollars, they're lifelines. And yet here comes Harry, a man who inherited millions, essentially asking that money be redirected from life-changing programs so he could jet set in style. The audacity, the entitlement, it was such a shockingly tone-deaf request that the CEO had no choice but to slam the door shut, firmly, loudly, and publicly enough for the message to echo far and wide. And here's the kicker. This isn't Harry's first tango with jet hypocrisy. Time and again, he strutted onto the world stage, wagging his finger at the rest of us about climate change. He lectures ordinary folks about shrinking their carbon footprints, flying less, consuming less. But what do we see time and again?
We always look forward to the Invictus Games, and this year's event is shaping up very well. What can we expect?
Well, hi there, Cara. Well, I think you just said it perfectly yourself. Hopefully it does strike the right balance between grit and...
Oh yes, those glossy photographs of Harry stepping off luxury jets, sunglasses perfectly in place, Meghan by his side, the very picture of first-class indulgence. It's become the running gag of his public image, his favorite hypocrisy, the critics say. And now even Invictus, the one noble cause that once shielded him from the worst of the criticism, has turned its back. The optics? Absolutely catastrophic. Imagine it, the supposed champion of veterans, the patron who built his image around their struggles and triumphs, actually trying to siphon money from them so he could indulge in a royal-style flight. Think of how that must sting for the competitors. Wounded warriors, veterans who've given body, health, and soul for their nations, training, fundraising, pushing their limits every single day, only to find out that their so-called advocate wanted to dip into their pot of sacrifice for his own comfort. The betrayal is unbearable.
It's all about the focus of the servicemen and women who have given so much and faced such adversity for their service. So I think when you're looking at Vancouver and Whistler, the two locations that the latest Invictus Games are going to be in, it is going to be star-studded.
And here's where the humiliation deepens. This isn't just about Harry getting egg on his face. No, this scandal stains the entire Invictus narrative. What was meant to be a shining story of resilience and service is now overshadowed by yet another scandal of Sussex entitlement. The arrogance here speaks volumes. Harry hasn't learned a single lesson from past backlash. Not one. He still struts around believing his position entitles him to bend the rules, to treat charities like his personal ATM, to dip into noble causes for personal luxury. And remember, this is the same man who declared he'd renounced royal privilege. The contradiction is so glaring, even his die-hard supporters are left scrambling for excuses. They can't explain this one away. The mask has slipped and it isn't pretty.
This might be Prince Harry's Invictus Games. It's his creation, it's his baby, but this is really a relaunch event, a whole week of exposure for the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. Now, we haven't seen.
By denying Harry, the Invictus leadership did something monumental. They drew a hard line in the sand. This wasn't a polite brush-off. This was a resounding declaration. We will not let our mission be dragged through the mud by Sussex scandals. They refused to fund his fantasy of grandeur, and more importantly, they refused to equate his luxury with the sacrifice of veterans. Harry may have thought this was just another backroom deal, another quiet arrangement swept under the rug. But oh, was he wrong? This became a very public moment of rejection, one so damning that it struck directly at the core of his authority and credibility. This was Invictus, the crown jewel of his post-royal identity, the one project that gave him dignity, and now it's become the stage of his downfall. That loud no wasn't just a rejection. It was the beginning of a scandal that threatens to unravel everything he's built.
For many, many months. She hasn't been out in public. She did do a huge PR blitz last year. It went badly. And she's avoided any exposure when it comes to Spare and when it comes to any promotions for Harry's book and also for his.
And the fallout? Catastrophic, especially with the one group Harry cannot afford to alienate, the veterans themselves. Behind the scenes, the anger is simmering into rage. For years, veterans looked at Harry as one of their own, a man who wore the uniform, who served, who straddled the line between royal privilege and military grit. Invictus wasn't supposed to be about celebrity. It was supposed to be about them, about healing, empowerment, and proving resilience. But now many feel betrayed. The whispers across military circles are brutal. Harry isn't seen as their comrade anymore. He's no longer the soldier prince who walked beside them.
Here with Harry, and the plan is to be happy. The plan is to look relaxed. And the plan is to get her on the front pages of the newspapers, into the news, onto the website, so we remember who she is again.
No, he's acting like a pampered prince again, expecting luxury while they make do with economy seats and grueling travel schedules. And the veterans aren't just angry, they're mocking him. Oh yes, sarcastic nicknames are flying faster than tabloids can print them. Jet Prince, Private Jet Harry, and the sharpest dagger of all? Captain First Class. Imagine that. Wounded warriors, some missing limbs, some scarred for life, giving everything, and their so-called champion tries to raid their funds for a private ride. The sting cuts deep and the betrayal lingers, but it doesn't stop with veterans. Donors, corporate sponsors, philanthropists, they're rattled too. These are the people writing seven-figure checks to ensure athletes get the equipment, therapy, and venues they need. And now they're hearing whispers that Harry wanted to reroute that generosity into his luxury travel. To them, it's not just scandalous, it's a nightmare scenario.
Harry is that this is his element, okay? When he was a member of the royal family and he was a working royal, he was doing this. He was playing with the youngsters, he was having fun, he was waving, he knew the cameras were there and he was enjoying himself. This time at the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf here, Meghan has joined him.
And believe me, sponsors are already demanding reassurances. They want guarantees that every penny goes to veterans, not to Sussex Air Miles. While the CEO's firm No calmed a few nerves, the fact that the request was even made has left a sour taste. The Sussex brand, once considered a glamorous asset to Invictus, is now being viewed as a dangerous liability. Sponsors are quietly wondering, could aligning with Harry and Meghan scare off future backers? And let's not forget the ghost that never stops haunting Harry, his hypocrisy on climate change. For years, he strutted on global stages lecturing the world about carbon footprints, about flying less, driving less, consuming less. And here he is again, demanding a private jet. It's the same old do as I say, not as I do nonsense.
With USA fans cheering on, singing Sweet Caroline. Now, we're told that obviously this is the pair of them kind of showing their true self, but it's also moving on from the negativity that has really blighted the last 3.5 years of their.
And the critics? Oh, they are having an absolute field day. British tabloids are dusting off every single photo of Harry and Meghan disembarking from private jets, pasting them side by side with his earnest climate change speeches. The headlines practically write themselves. Harry talks green, but flies private. It's brutal, it's biting, and for someone who's tried to build a moral high ground, it's devastating. And then, yes, the Meghan factor. Because let's be real, when a scandal touches the Sussexes, Meghan's name is never far behind. Insiders are whispering that Meghan may have been the real push behind the demand for VIP travel. It wouldn't be the first time she insisted on luxury arrangements, would it? From clashes over expensive security details to disagreements on travel perks during past tours, Meghan's appetite for high-end living is well documented. So if Meghan nudged Harry into making this demand, it fits seamlessly into the narrative critics have been spinning for years, that she transformed him from a grounded military man into a Hollywood husband obsessed with image and luxury. Whether it's fair or not, that perception is cemented now. And let me tell you, it only pours fuel on the fire of backlash. And in today's world, backlash doesn't just sit quietly in headlines. Oh no, it goes viral. Online, the scandal has exploded. Twitter, TikTok, you name it, memes are everywhere. Harry, mocked as the private jet prince, is plastered across parody videos. One viral clip shows soldiers crammed into budget airline seats while Harry, photoshopped, sips champagne in a luxurious private cabin. The captions? Invictus for veterans, not vacations. It's ruthless, it's viral, and it's absolutely humiliating. And here's the thing, this is how scandals stick in the modern age. Not just through scathing headlines, but through ridicule, through memes, through mockery that turns your name into a punchline. And Harry? He's the punchline now. The joke writes itself. For Invictus, the damage could be even more profound. This was supposed to be Harry's crowning achievement, the project that secured his legacy. Now, it risks being tainted by his entitlement. Insiders whisper that the CEO and board are even considering ways to distance the games from the Sussex brand entirely. Their priority now isn't protecting Harry, it's shielding the veterans, the donors, the athletes. And if that means sidelining Harry, well, that would be the ultimate humiliation. Imagine it, the games he founded thriving without him. And then comes the dagger to Harry's heart. For him personally, this is nothing short of devastating. Once upon a time, Harry painted himself as the spare-turned-servant, the royal who stepped away from crowns and castles to embrace duty, purpose, and service. But now he looks like the very thing he swore he'd never become. Entitled, spoiled, a man demanding special treatment while others sacrifice. And the tragedy? He doesn't even see it. To Harry, a private jet is just normal. It's what he's accustomed to. He doesn't see the problem because to him, luxury is standard. But to the veterans, to the donors, to the watching world, that jet isn't just a ride. It's a symbol, a glaring, neon-bright symbol of a man who's drifted far, far away from reality. And let's be crystal clear, this scandal isn't just about a jet. No, it's about a promise broken. Harry once told the world he would be different, that he would rise above the monarchy's entitlement. He would serve, not demand. He would lead with humility, not arrogance. But this proves he's fallen into the same trap of privilege. And here's the kicker. The Invictus Games, the one shield that always seemed to protect Harry, have finally turned against him. Even Invictus is pushing back. And that leaves us with the million-dollar question. What happens next? Will Harry be quietly sidelined from the very games he created? Will the donors, the veterans, and the sponsors demand his removal to protect the integrity of the mission? Or, because Harry is nothing if not stubborn, will he double down, insisting he's still the rightful face of a movement that's rapidly losing trust in him? One thing is certain, Harry may have thought he was soaring high above the world, but after this jet scandal, his reputation is plummeting faster than ever before. Let's talk about the layers here because gossip like this doesn't exist in a vacuum. This scandal is sticky. It clings, it spreads, it morphs into something bigger. Harry's private jet demand isn't just about entitlement, it's about hypocrisy, perception, and betrayal. First, the hypocrisy. For years, Harry has fashioned himself as a modern, moral voice. He lectured us about climate change, scolded ordinary people about their carbon footprints, and postured as a green warrior. Yet behind the curtain, private jets, first-class indulgence, and now a request so audacious it shook even his own charity. The contradiction is so obvious, even casual observers are rolling their eyes. And in the world of gossip, nothing fuels ridicule faster than hypocrisy. Second, perception. Once, Harry was the golden boy of the royals, the cheeky, rebellious prince who became the soldier, the one people rooted for. Then, post-Megxit, he reinvented himself as the underdog, the man who left the monarchy to fight for independence and purpose. But with every scandal, whether it's whining about palace life, Netflix deals, or now this jet fiasco, the perception shifts, and this time, it's brutal. He doesn't look like an underdog anymore. He looks like a man out of touch, clinging to perks while pretending to be one of the people. And third, betrayal. The veterans, the donors, the fans of Invictus. They feel betrayed, because if Harry could even consider dipping into veteran funds for personal luxury, what else has he been willing to compromise? For those who gave him unwavering support, this moment cuts like a knife. And then, of course, there's Meghan, because whether she likes it or not, her shadow looms over every Sussex scandal. Gossip insiders whisper she may have pushed for the luxury travel, and honestly, it tracks. Meghan has long been painted as someone who prefers glitz, glam, and nothing less than top-tier arrangements. Whether it's clashing over tour accommodations or insisting on premium security, her reputation for only the best precedes her. So naturally, when people hear about Harry's jet demand, the question is immediate. Was Meghan behind this too? Critics don't even hesitate to believe it, and fair or not, that perception hardens the public view. Harry isn't just seen as a fallen prince. He's seen as Meghan's Hollywood husband, molded into someone who values image and indulgence over service. And in today's age, this is where reputations die, not just in headlines, but in memes. Mockery spreads faster than facts, and right now, Harry is being memed into oblivion. From TikTok edits showing him sipping champagne while soldiers sit cramped on budget airlines, to Twitter captions like "Invictus for veterans, not vacations," the ridicule has gone viral, and once you're a punchline, good luck clawing your way back. Because that's the cruel truth of modern gossip. Scandals don't just hit, they stick, they linger, they turn you into a running joke that resurfaces every time you try to stand tall again. And Harry, sadly, has just become that joke. The biggest question of all, will Invictus cut ties with Harry? Imagine it. The games he founded, the cause he wrapped his identity around, moving forward without him. That would be the most devastating blow yet. The crowning achievement of his life thriving while he fades into the background, remembered only as a cautionary tale of ego overshadowing service. Because let's face it, Invictus will survive. The veterans, the athletes, the donors, they'll continue. The games are bigger than Harry now. And maybe, just maybe, they'll be stronger without the cloud of Sussex scandals hanging overhead. But Harry? Where does he go from here? Each scandal chips away at his credibility, and this one cut straight to the bone. He promised he'd be different. He promised he'd be grounded, humble, and service-driven. Instead, he's proving he's exactly what people feared. A prince who swapped palaces for Hollywood, but never gave up the taste for privilege. And the irony? That's the real heartbreak of it all. Harry wanted Invictus to be his redemption arc, his proof that he was more than just a royal name. But now the very project he hoped would shield him has turned into the weapon that might destroy what's left of his reputation. So here's where we land. Harry, once the soldier prince, now sits exposed as Private Jet Harry, mocked across social media, scrutinized by sponsors and rejected by the very veterans he claimed to champion. Meghan's shadow looms, memes are flying, donors are jittery, and Invictus leadership is standing firm against his entitlement. The gossip world is united on this one. Harry overplayed his hand. He thought his charm, his title, and his past would grant him indulgence forever. But the world has moved on. Veterans won't tolerate betrayal. Sponsors won't risk their brands. And the public? They're done swallowing his lectures while watching him live large. The fairy tale of the spare-turned servant has crumbled, and all it took was one shocking, tone-deaf demand, a private jet at the expense of veterans, for the illusion to shatter. Harry may have once flown high, but after this scandal, his wings are clipped, his reputation is in free fall, and his story has become the juiciest gossip of them all.